There is a certain kind of person walking quietly through this digital world. Not hidden, not insecure, not afraid, just unshown. Someone who scrolls through the noise without adding to it. Someone who witnesses life without turning every moment into a broadcast. Someone who leaves no selfies, no curated angles, no polished snapshots behind. And while the world is racing to upload, update, share, and showcase, this kind of person simply exists. No announcement, no presentation, no digital spotlight. And most people never stop to ask, why? Why does someone choose to remain unnamed in a world obsessed with thumbnails and profile pictures? Why does someone choose presence over performance? Why does someone choose depth over display? People assume the answer is fear, or insecurity, or shyness. But that's the surface layer psychology, the kind you get from people who never learned how to look deeper. The real psychology is softer, more human, more layered than anyone expects. Because the story of someone who doesn't post their photo is not a story of hiding. It's a story of knowing. The internal identity. To understand someone like this, you have to understand something most people overlook. Modern identity is built on feedback, likes, comments, reactions, digital mirrors reflecting digital versions of ourselves. But there are people, rare people, who don't need mirrors to know who they are. Their identity is internal, not external. A conversation with themselves, not with the crowd. A presence felt in silence, not in pixels. They don't post their face because their face is not their identity. Their identity lives deeper, in their values, their thoughts, their memory, their inner world. And nothing about that needs to be photographed. 2. The discomfort that has no name. There's a moment many people like this know well, a moment almost impossible to explain. You open the camera app, you look at yourself, and something inside you whispers, "This isn't me." Not because you look bad, not because you're insecure, not because you're hiding, but because the camera captures the shape of you, not the truth of you. It freezes your face, but not your essence. And so you close the app, not in frustration, but in peace. You move on with your day, unbothered by the lack of documentation, because you don't need a picture to prove you were here. 3. The observer's mind. People who rarely post their photos share something in common. They see the world in stories, not snapshots. Where others see a perfect selfie moment, they see the mood in the room, the tension in a conversation, the sincerity in someone's eyes, the way a moment feels, not just how it looks. They're the kind of people who walk into a cafe and notice the atmosphere, not the angle of the lighting. They pick up tone, subtext, emotional currents. Eyes over lenses, feelings over filters. They don't post because they're too busy perceiving. And perception is a full-time experience. 4. Vulnerability by choice. Here is the part nobody talks about. Posting a photo online is a form of vulnerability. A small one, a subtle one, but vulnerability nonetheless. Because once an image leaves your hands, it's no longer yours. People interpret it, project onto it, misjudge it, misunderstand it, resize it to fit their assumptions. Some people are fine with this, but others feel something quiet inside them resist. Not out of fear, but out of discernment. They're willing to be known, but they want to be known fully, not through a snapshot. 5. The three origins. People who never post their photos often come from one of three psychological roots. 1. The quiet childhood. They grew up as observers, reflective, thoughtful, absorbing the world instead of demanding attention from it. 2. The overexposed phase. They lived a period of life where they felt too seen, too judged, too watched. And somewhere inside, they decided, I get to choose who sees me now. 3. The depth-oriented temperament. These are the thinkers, the feelers, the ones who trust slowly and reveal carefully. To them, the face is not the introduction. The soul is.
6. The fear of being reduced. The deeper truth is this: they're not afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being flattened, reduced to angles, lighting, a single frozen expression, a moment taken out of context. Some people meet themselves through photos, but some feel disconnected from them because the photo shows the shell. They live from the inside, and the inside is too alive to be frozen. 7. The love of anonymity. There's a certain freedom in being unshown, freedom to exist without being compared, freedom to speak without being pre-labeled, freedom to express without being examined like an exhibit. When no one knows your face, they are forced to interact with your words, your ideas, your energy. Not your jawline, not your lighting, not your expression. There is power in that invisibility. The power to be understood, not just looked at. 8. Private self-consciousness. Psychology has a term for these types of people: private self-consciousness. Not public, private. A heightened awareness of one's inner life, an orientation toward self-knowledge more than self-presentation. These are the people who ask, what do I feel? What does this mean? Who am I becoming? Not, how do I look right now? How will others perceive this? Their mind simply doesn't rotate around external evaluation. 9. The intimacy of being seen. This is a truth few will admit. For some people, showing their face is an intimate act. Not romantic, not dramatic. Intimate. A quiet exchange of trust. And like any intimate act, they don't give it to strangers. Their face is not a public artifact. It is a gift reserved for the people who have earned closeness. 10. The mystery they don't intend to create. People who never post their photos often get labeled as mysterious. But they're not trying to be mysterious. They're just sincere. And sincerity is rare enough today to feel like a mystery. They're not hiding in the shadows. They simply refuse to live in the spotlight. They're not inaccessible. They're intentional. 11. Presence over presentation. While the world is documenting their lives, these individuals are living theirs. They'd rather feel a moment than capture it, rather remember it than display it, rather live it than upload it. Because to them, not everything needs an audience. Some of the most meaningful moments bloom only in privacy.